Will from Practical Performance Car here. I'm here with Joe Ward and a Fiat Panda. Why a Fiat Panda?
So I had one as my first car,
Ah,
and the obsession sort of started from there. My first car ended up getting sold just because it was a bit of a rotter. My dad suggested that I sold it in only the way a dad can, really.
yeah.
So that got sold, and I've been fortunate enough to have sort of a few nice cars since, but just had the hankering to do this to a Panda ever since. It was a barn find in 2019. It had done 2,500 miles when I bought it, so museum piece.
Well, having said do this, what have you done?
More than I was bargaining for, to be honest. So it's quite a popular swap. It's a 1.2 16 valve Fiat engine out of a Punto that's been quite heavily reworked and gone over.
When you say reworked, what you've gas flowed the head and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's all the old school sort of hot ready tricks. It's been 0.4 overboard with a bigger mile piston in it,
Right.
and then skim head to try and get the compression way up. Bigger Piper cams,
Right.
ported and polished, both exhaust and inlet side quite drastically, and then opened up the exhaust ports on the actual manifold themselves and the inlet, and then throttle bodies from there, and then it's on standalone management as well. So
Right.
gone a bit further than most go with the swap.
Yeah.
The crux of it are a very basic swap that a lot of people do to these to make them a bit more drivable and usable on a day-to-day basis, really.
Okay. And what sort of throttle bodies has it got?
Honda CBR RR 600 throttle bodies, so
Right.
bike bodies basically.
A lot of people have problems when they put bike throttle bodies on because obviously they're designed for a twist grip,
Yeah,
so you can get a very stop-start
Yeah,
throttle. Have you got
yeah.
that problem, or have you managed to work around it with a different linkage?
we've managed to work around it somewhat. It's on a proper pedal box inside and stuff, which has helped.
What, an aftermarket pedal box?
Yes,
Right.
yes, which has helped. So we weren't trying to use the original swing of the pedal. We've
So
sort
you can change the fulcrum point, can you?
yeah, that's what we've sort of gone for.
Right.
It's still a bit stop-starty, but it's gone so far from being a road car that it doesn't worry me too much.
Right.
It's going to be used sort of as a bit of a track toy, so
Right.
once we're up and running, we're fine, type of thing.
Okay. And what's the gearbox?
Gearbox is, at the moment, an original Panda 5-speed.
Right.
We'll see how long it lasts,
Okay.
because I'm not confident it's going to last very long.
Really?
I don't think so. They weren't the best design from factory. They're wet CV joints and they're always a bit weepy and all sorts of stuff. So I've got an Abar 595 box with a
All right.
slippy diff to go in it
Oh,
at
nice.
some point, but it meant different engine mounts, different drive shafts. It just complicated
That's
the
a
whole
lot more work then.
thing. Yeah. So I thought I'd get it on the road with the original box,
Okay.
see how we get on, and then move to that one winter when time and funds allow.
It sits quite low, which is a bit of an understatement.
It does. It
What
does.
have you done with the suspension?
So this is the question I get asked all the time online: is how have I got it as low as I've got it?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was the guys at Leader that have helped me massively. They custom made front coilovers for it, and they made shortened shocks for the rear. On top of that, it's been chopped up a bit, so it's ended up with a bit of a chassis notch to clear drive shafts, and it's been notched to
Wow.
clear steering arms and all sorts of stuff.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Far more work than I was hoping, but I'm quite particular with the way a car sits. I think it's really important. So I spent quite a lot of time trying to get it to sit the way it does. There's still a bit of work to do. I'm not quite happy with the rear end. I need to add a bit of camber, and because it's currently at 0, and I think it's going to make it handle a bit weird. And I want to do a height adjustable rear end and stuff, but it's getting there.
What about the brakes?
They're a Willwood caliper
Right.
with a mount made myself that mounts to original mounting points for the original calipers,
Yeah.
and we've made the bracket. So my best mate Sam, who runs 11th Autosport, which is like a little, he'll do your sort of custom CAD work and design work.
Right.
He helped me with all of those, so I made them up in cardboard first, try and get the shape right, and then made them up in a bit of wood and bolted them onto the car and made sure all the calipers fit, and then we moved to CAD and stress tested them and made sure no one was going to get hurt if we bolted them on.
Well, more importantly, you.
Yeah, so
And what are the discs?
the discs are just standard Fiat Panda Selector discs because they're ever so slightly bigger,
Mhm.
but they're still just a solid disc and then a little Willwood caliper to get them under
I
30.
don't imagine it weighs an awful lot, does it?
No, so I don't know how much it weighs now I've finished messing with it or got to this stage with it, but they weigh about 700 kilograms out the factory.
Yeah, and you've got a lot less interior than they used to have.
A lot less interior, but I have got a lot of scaffolding in there,
Yeah.
which weighs a bit, so I'm hoping it's sort of evened out to around 700.
Okay.
If the weight started with a 6, I'd be very happy.
The front spoiler's quite low. What's that from? Is that custom made?
Yeah, it's a B&Q special.
B&Q?
B&Q
I didn't know
special.
they did parts for Fiat
Yeah,
Pandas.
very common.
Right. I've not seen that aisle when I've been in there.
Oh, you've got to go to the race car department at B&Q, and
Must have missed that in my local one.
it's a bit of MDF.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, it's good enough for the touring car lads, so
Yeah.
it's good enough for me. And then it's a bit of aluminium sort of
On the
sheet,
bottom there.
yeah, that creates that air dam.
It certainly looks the part.
Yeah,
As do the wheels, which are quite striking. I don't think I've seen those wheels before. What are they?
the wheels are an odd one. They're a company called Oscom,
Right.
an old Italian company.
Are
And
they all
we've-
Italian, are they?
Yeah, they're Italian, and we think they're from the 80s.
Right.
So they're 4x98. They're the proper real deal 3-piece split
Right.
Italian wheels.
Where did you find those?
Facebook Marketplace.
What, locally?
Yes.
Good grief.
Yeah, they were in the UK. They were about 3 hours from me, and they were 350 quid.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you thought all your Christmases would come at once. Didn't you?
Honestly, I've never been so excited in my life. Because finding 4x98 wheels, if anyone's got a Fiat or anything 4x98, you know they just don't exist really in a
Yeah.
performance wheel.
Okay. Well, I think it's time we went for a drive.
Yeah,
Great,
Definitely.
let's do that. Thanks, Joe. Great
you're
car.
very welcome.
Thank God you put it back to standard.
Yeah, kept it all original, didn't want to mess with a museum piece.
I like what you've done with it. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've just tried to keep it sort of period correct and
Yeah.
still looking like a Fiat Panda.
Yeah. Well, thanks for showing it to us.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. And if you'd like to consider helping us to continue making videos like this, please think about becoming a Patreon member. It starts from only £2 a month, which is, what can you buy for £2, Joe?
Nothing these
Packet of
days.
peanuts,
Maybe a Mars bar.
one insole for your flip-flops, nothing. So please consider becoming a Patreon member, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.